And we're back here, 7:36 a.m., KFYO Mornings. Dave King, Matt Martin, 95.1 FM, 790 a.m. And, of course, it is a Thursday. And, gosh, it's 7:36, and that means it's time for Jerry Reynolds, the Car Pro. Good morning, Jerry Reynolds.
Good morning, fellas, and welcome back, Matt.
Hi, thank you.
Missed you last week. We had a nice conversation, though.
Yeah, I ran away. I was in Nashville, Tennessee. It was terrible.
Well, it was probably cooler there than it was in Lubbock.
It was. It was more humid, but it really wasn't bad just because you had some cloud cover, and it just wasn't horrible at all.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'll tell you what. Speaking of not horrible, I have had a great time this week driving the new 2019 Acura RDX. And this is their smallest SUV, except that now with this 2019 being all new, it actually grew quite a bit. It's longer. It's got a longer wheelbase. It's wider. It's taller. This thing actually grew up on me since the last one I had, which was, I think, in 2017. But talk about a change, guys. And this is what I love about the auto industry is when a car company goes out there, in this case Honda, who owns Acura, goes out there and takes an already good SUV, but something that I didn't consider to be overly special, and they turn it into something special. This thing has got more technology on it. In fact, as you can imagine, being in and out of well over 100 cars a year, I seldom get behind the wheel of one and go, oh, wow. But with this one, I did. I was actually intimidated for just a minute with all the switches and buttons. And you should see the steering wheel. It's got more controls on it than anything I've ever seen. But then after I sat there for a minute and studied it, I went, okay, you know what? This isn't as complicated as it looks. And literally within minutes, I had it all down. I had everything working the way I wanted to, and was comfortable with everything. It was just that first initial impression. But this thing has got tremendous amount of power for its size. It's got 272 horses coming out of a four-cylinder. It's got 280 pound-feet of torque. So when you jump on this thing from, a dead stop, it just picks up and goes. And I think the other surprising thing was the amount of headroom and legroom in the second row. Now, it does not have a third row seat, but it has got, with the way they stretched it, it's got a tremendous amount of cargo area in the back, as well as super good room for the second row and the front passengers. So I've had it since Monday morning, and I got to tell you, it's been an extremely enjoyable ride. I'll have that review up next week. I did get the Avalon review that we talked about last week. It's online right now at carprousa.com.
Hey, I'm looking over carprousa.com, speaking of which, and this talking about the upcoming Mecum. I guess that's an auction, right? Yes,
that's a classic car auction. It starts today and runs through Saturday evening. And, they don't have typically the class of cars that you get from a Barrett Jackson, but still very nice cars, and cars that, are more affordable to people who are wanting to dabble into the classic car arena. They have some very nice cars, don't get me wrong. They're just not those pristine, top-of-the-line classics that you're going to see at a Barrett Jackson or out in California at the Concours auction, which is coming up later this month.
They have a 1966 Batmobile.
Yes.
As well as a 1964 Dragula.
Yeah, it was part of the Munsters show.
It's
not the Munsters Mobile.
Right.
This one was in the show. The original Batmobiles, this was one of 8. I've seen those things bring upwards to $1 million. So we'll see what this one does.
They're really neat-looking cars.
They really are. Now, they don't... It's on and I have some experience with this, the originals were on a 68 Lincoln Town Car chassis and came with a 460 engine under the hood. And then they put that body on there. There's a radio personality in Dallas that actually owns one of these cars, and I arranged for him to get a new engine in it, because typically these cars are not fast at all. I mean, it was only 200 and some odd horses. So we dropped an almost 600-horse Ford racing engine under the hood of his Batmobile. And now that thing's a runner, I'll tell you. It's a lot of fun. We did get the auto sales in from July late yesterday. Every manufacturer reported. Industry was down about 3.7% from a year ago, still up over 1% year-to-date from 2017, which was the second-best year in automotive history. So the business is hanging good. I think the big piece of July that was down versus a year ago was the way the calendar fell. One less selling day this year and one less weekend, which can cause a huge swing in sales. And I wanted to mention I'm watching very closely. I know you guys got some surprising news from the Rager Dykes Auto Group filing bankruptcy. It surprised me and didn't surprise me, I'll be honest with you, but that's something we're going to be keeping an eye on as well as that progresses.
Yeah, they've got a lot of dealerships out in the DFW area, don't they?
You know, if they do, they're not named that. There's nothing in the Metroplex with the Rager Dykes name. But I will tell you, one of the shocking things, they've got billboards all over Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and I've never seen a dealer as far away as you guys are advertised in the metro market. Typically doesn't work very well.
He is a huge advertiser, and he has a lot of billboards here in Lubbock, and like you say, all over. You see him on the down at Post, Texas, along the interstate, everywhere.
I had one of the listeners to the Car Pro show from Lubbock asked me about 6 months ago about the group, and he says, "What is your impression?" I said, I'm always watching a group of car dealers that grows that fast. Typically, there's issues that occur when you grow that fast. Just finding good enough people to staff that many dealerships is always going to be a challenge.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see how that comes out.
Jerry, we're running out of time, but you're on from 11 to 1 on Saturday. You'll be here this Saturday.
I will.
As well as your website is carprousa.com, and if you have any questions, make sure to listen Saturday, give you a call. Otherwise, get on that website.
There you go. I'll
right.
be there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jerry. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. All right. Bye-bye.